Iron Fist Episode 3, Rolling Thunder Cannon Punch. I think this was definitely the best episode out of the first, couple out of the three that I've seen so far. And we get Jerry Hogarth, which is pretty cool, and then we have some other characters coming up. We get a slight introduction to Madame Gao, like we see her like slam the stick on the ground, but we don't get like a full picture of her. But it was really good. I really enjoyed this episode because of that, and we get to see the hand make a pseudo appearance. Technically, they didn't show up; they kind of just made their presence known. That was, that was a great segment. That was probably my favorite segment in the entire episode. Was actually that part, just because of the fear. And I still don't remember the guy's name, but Father Meacham. I'm still gonna stick with that. The fear that he had, like he's training and stuff, and he's like, maybe we should move on to weapons. And he turns around, and as soon as the guy was gone, I was like, oh, he's dead. And like they probably did actually kill that bodyguard or the trainer. I was like, he might actually be dead just because it's the hand. But as soon as that happened and the light shut off, like he turns around, lights go off, he's like, and the glass just drops from the very beginning. He's like, he knows he's screwed. And I was like, I like that. I like that he has that very immense fear of the hand, which he should, because they will destroy him, and he doesn't want to die, but he had to kind of get things going to see what the deal was with Danny. So I really enjoyed that segment. I thought it was great. I thought that was a really good sequence. Jerry did some good stuff with Danny helping him out, and we found out that she was actually the one. It's kind of funny going from Jessica Jones, some of the things that happened in there, to see that she had such a fond memory of Danny's father, because it's like, he gave me my first job, and that led to her being like this, big character, or just in general this big person. And so she was the one who was constantly making sure that everything was everything looked well, and that the graves were tended to all the time. So I was like, that's actually a really nice side of her character, and she helps him for free. She just says, make sure that once this goes through, my company is always on retainer for you guys. And I was like, that's pretty awesome, and I'll be totally honest, for a second I didn't know what the company did. I was thinking that they were like a giant lawyer firm, but in this episode, they actually have like the acquisition of the guy with the pier, and that was another great segment. I think that and the part with the hand were my two favorite moments in the whole episode, because we got almost a flip between Joy and Ward during that segment, because Joy is the one where it seems fairly obvious she wants to help Danny. She's the one who is better than her father and her brother. She's the nicest one of them all. And it seemed to kind of shift in this episode until the very end, which I'm pretty sure her brother was right about. Like, okay, she was the one who saw the thing, the little clay pot, and it's like, crap, I can give this to him and it'll prove without me, getting into like a bit of a fight with my brother. But before that, it was a bit iffy, because she takes the guy to the hospital and stuff, and I'm like, okay, let's see what happens here. And she's like, this guy's gonna die in 30 minutes, and instead of putting him on a national list and stuff, we will send his, I think it was his liver, directly to your nephew, who has my name, except it was missing a T when I saw it or it was missing an R, not a T, it was missing an R when I saw it on the subtitles. But it was like, we'll give this, kid's liver to your nephew. He's a perfect match, and, we have a lot of friends, and we want to, make you one of them, and you're buying will make you a part of that. And I was like, that's actually super dark. It's technically illegal, like that's what I'm assuming everyone knows it, but just in case you don't, the reason that was such a big deal is because it's illegal to do that sort of thing, to not have an organ donor's organs go on like a national registry so anyone can be saved. It's like someone potentially could die because they took that organ straight to this guy's nephew, and that's just the possibility of it. And it was just a very dark segment. I was like, wow, I did not see that coming from her character. I thought she was going to, do the typical thing and play it up and sweet talk the guy because she's a girl and he's like, a weak-minded guy. I just assumed that was the whole point. And then it got super dark, and I was like, wow, I did not see that coming. And then, after all that happens, she looks at Ward and he shakes his head no, because he doesn't want things to go that way and for them to basically convince this guy in this form. And I was like, that's very interesting, because she's so nice to Danny, and like I said, that was kind of the shift. And then this was like, this is for business though. Like, that's Danny, that's a personal thing, I like him, and I'm glad he's not dead. But this we need. My brother can't do it, I'm going to make sure it gets done. And it was just super dark the way it was handled. And I like that, because it kind of flipped the script for the two of them, where Ward was the one who was kind of backing off, like, this is a bit too intense, and she was the one kind of going full force for it. So Really love those two segments. I thought those were the best parts of this episode. We get to see a little bit more action in this. I think we have what I would personally consider the best action sequence so far was actually with Danny and the guy at the hospital. I actually thought that was a cool segment. The scene early on, basically the beginning of the episode with Colleen, that was pretty cool too. And we also see her do a pretty cool fight scene with the buff guy. The only reason I like the scene with Danny a little bit more is just because they were knocking stuff down. It was just a visual thing because she was doing some really cool stuff and she like destroyed that guy at the end. But it was just cool because they were going back and forth. Like the guy tried to stab him, and they did like the knife in the book thing, and I was like, oh, that looks really cool. And the part where Danny swings through the boxes to like knock the guy down. So that's really the only reason I like that, because they were using the environment around them, and I was like, I'd like that just a little bit more going through the episode. I like Colleen's fight, but of course she wasn't like destroying anybody. She was kind of like, you know, disarming people, and I was like, all right, I'm not gonna like destroy you guys, but this isn't about to happen. So she was kind of taking it easy on everybody. So it wasn't like that big of a deal. And then at the end is when she kind of, you know, ramped it up. But those were two good fights. I was glad we got to see those. They seem to be building up the action, and I'm just like, I'm kind of hungry for some more action, if I'm being totally honest, because with this being the martial arts one, and of course what I've heard as well is kind of factoring in, even though I'm only like 3 episodes into like a 13 episode season, so there's still a lot of action that could still happen in the second half toward, you know, towards the last couple episodes. But with this being, you know, Iron Fist and the martial arts and all that, I do want to see a lot more martial arts, and I feel like we just don't have that. I feel like the pacing, as far as the action goes, it can be off because it can't be all action all the time. But it's like with Daredevil, when he gets into the action sequences, it's super epic. Like, it's super cool to see that. And they don't have to do, like I said with Daredevil Season 1, cool first fight scene in the end of the first episode, and then the second episode still has what people consider like the best scene out of like all the Marvel Netflix shows, is that hallway sequence. And I just, you know, 3 episodes in, for this guy being the character built around martial arts, I feel like we should have had that already, just because that's his character. And even if he does have the superpower, just send like 18 people after him, whatever, you know, just that sort of simple thing. And I'm sure we'll get that towards the end, because of course he's going to end up fighting against the Hand. That's inevitable. So I am looking forward to that. We do get Colleen fighting in the kind of underground fight club sort of deal, so we'll get some cool action sequences there, I'm sure. So I am looking forward to that, and I think that's going to end up being a regular thing, because she, of course, needs the money, so she got a ton from that. And, you know, she's going kind of into her comic persona a little bit and stuff like that. I don't really want to spoil, but I've seen some of the images, so I know where they're headed. But I'm looking forward to that. Like I said, I think the action was actually good in this episode. The dramatic scenes were definitely great, especially like the Hand. Just the fact that he freaked out so much, and he, like, they didn't even say anything. The lights went off, and he's like, I'm dead. And he just instantly dropped the glass and like almost peed on himself. I was like, I love this scene. That was pretty much all I needed. And the part, you know, with Joy and how she did such a serious thing to finally get this guy, you know, to, you know, sell them the pier, I just thought that was really good. I thought it was really well done. So certainly enjoyed this episode. Of course, by the end, Danny, you know, they're able to get that proof. So it's like, you know, we'll see you guys in court and stuff. And he follows word because he has his suspicions after having seen the picture. It's like, man, he looked exactly the same as he did during my dream, which he wouldn't look that way. Not exactly that way. He would look a little bit younger. And then he sees a picture of, like, basically when he died, and it's like, he looked exactly like that when I saw him. So that's when he ends up following after Ward, and he follows him to the penthouse. And I don't know what the deal was. Maybe the Hand was in there or something, because he sees him. And if I remember right, he was in the little, the chamber that he's in where he was asleep at. So somebody was in there. It may have just been like the assistant dude, and he just defended him or something. I don't know. But it seemed to be a point to show, like, the one time the assistant guy wasn't there was when he was asleep. So I'm assuming it was like the Hand or something like that. But Danny falls off. Of course he's not going to die. You know, maybe it would be cool, but it would never happen if he like fell towards the ground and he punched it. That wouldn't happen. I also don't think he'd live from that. Even though he punched through the ground, he'd still die from that. He's not that strong. But it was a cool way to end the episode, where it's just like, you know, he breaks in, and then it's just boom, window opens, and he's seemingly falling to his death. So I am looking forward to this next episode. Of course, would love to know what you guys thought about it, so please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts, least favorite parts were, and I definitely want to know what you guys thought about the more dramatic moments in this. What they did with Joy, even though we do see at the end she is still on Danny's side, that was still an interesting dark side of her character, that she would do something illegal and, it's all hypothetical stuff that someone could potentially die because they don't put that, that liver on a national list. But it was just the way it was all handled, and the fact that, she was like, in 30 minutes this kid is going to die and stuff like that. It was just the way it played out, and that she paid people off to let them into the room, and she knew exactly how all this stuff was going to play out, and she did her research, and that had to be over the course of like a day or maybe two. So there was a lot that she did that was kind of a little bit of dark research there, and I really enjoyed that. And of course the hand in general was just cool to see, and the way they freaked that guy out. So we'll love to know what you guys thought about those more dramatic moments of the episode, and of course I want to know what you guys thought about this episode in general, so please comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.